Hi there, my name is Lo. Welcome to my channel where I discuss everything between Hermes and grocery bags. Today I wanted to do a proper review about a bag that I actually talk about already quite a lot. It's appeared in a number of my videos and I realized I'd never really done a proper review. So here it is today. We will be talking about the Saint Laurent East-West tote in the color black. Please don't mind my little assistant here today on the side. It's very hard to keep my cats out of my room while I'm doing videos. So before we unpack this one, this is the dust bag. Nothing special there. Most of the pieces I got from Saint Laurent I actually got in a box, but this one, well, it came in a box, but at least it didn't come in a Saint Laurent box. So I dropped that one as soon as the bag had arrived. So let's get her out. Oop. And there you have it. Very interesting, apparently. Anyway, so the Saint Laurent East-West tote. This is a smooth leather tote. This one is in the color black. And as usual, I will do a little tour of the bag, talk to you about what fits, mention the pros and cons, and give a recommendation on whether it is worthwhile getting this bag or getting this bag still now that Saint Laurent is no longer really partaking anymore in any promotions, and I think they've also gone through a couple of rounds of price increases. Let's go through the dimensions while I do a little tour of the bag. The width of this bag is 36 centimeters or 14.2 inches. The height is 28 centimeters or approximately 11 inches, and the depth over here is 13 centimeters or 5.1 inches. It is a very simple tote, really nothing to it. Here on the front it says Saint Laurent Paris. It comes with this little detail, call it a back charm, or I don't know exactly. It has this little pocket which hides away the YSL logo. So this is something you can decide to either show. I usually just have it in the pocket because I like this bag to be as inconspicuous as possible. As you can see, this thing is also very easy to take off if you don't want to carry it. So that is the front. Nothing really going on the side, neither on the back. And then going back to the other side. Again, not much going on. This is the bottom of the bag. Has no feet on it. Just a seam going along the full length. It only comes with these shoulder straps, which have a nice drop length. Let me just get my measuring tape. Drop length here is about 25 centimeters. And that equates to about 9.5 inches. Very nice drop length. Very soft, comfortable straps. They are not very wide, but usually I don't really find them digging into my skin, and they're long enough so that the bag doesn't really drop off your shoulder. This bag has a weight of approximately 800 grams, which is a little under 2 pounds, so about 1.8 pounds. I have to say, in terms of this type of tote, I would say this is relatively on the light end, even though it is full leather. I think this one might be a good alternative to a canvas tote, which would even be lighter, I suppose. It is a very open tote. The only thing that is keeping it together is this magnetic closure, which is reasonably strong, but also then again not super strong. It's very easy to open up. Let's move on to the inside of the bag. It is a gaping black hole, so yeah, kind of hard to see what is going on here on the inside. So let me take this pouch out, because this is a pouch that actually comes with the bag. Has gold hardware, or at least my bag has gold hardware. Also the magnetic closure here is gold hardware, but there's not really any hardware on the outside, so in that sense it's very easy to combine with whatever you are wearing. I usually don't really use these type of pouches in these larger tote bags, but I know that people like them for organizational purposes, so at least it's a nice detail to have. I would say that given the price of this bag, it would have been nice if this is something you could actually also wear as a clutch, and I think that this leather detailing over here really doesn't do it that much justice. It connects to the strap on the inside of the bag. It has a little knob here. You can basically put it through the pouch and seal it back up, so it's fairly easy to remove, but it's not as easy to remove as when it would have just been like with a clasp. Connects to the interior of the bag over here. And this is something you actually cannot remove. So you can remove the pouch, but the strap that connects the pouch to the inside of the bag will always remain within the bag. It doesn't really bother me, but again, for functionality, I think it would have been nice if you could just use this as a separate pouch and have a separate wristlet, so to say, that would go with that pouch. So that is a bit of a miss for me. The interior of the bag, I suppose, is just the back of the leather, so it's this sort of rough suede material. I've heard quite a lot of people say that it scratches very easily. I have to say, in my case, I haven't really noticed that at all. And I will toss my stuff in here, but I have to admit that most of my stuff will generally be in pouches. My laptop, if I'm carrying that, will be in like a sleeve that is quite soft. So perhaps I just haven't put anything into this bag that has been abrasive enough to damage the inside, but thus far for me it is still in perfect condition pretty much. Then let's briefly discuss what fits in this bag, because this is just a fairly large tote. It can actually fit a lot. Yes, it will be a gaping black hole, so perhaps you might want to add like a bag organizer for some organization. As I already said, I will usually already carry my stuff in pouches, so I don't really have need for a bag organizer. Anyway, just to demonstrate you, this is a 13.3-inch MacBook. This is something that will fit fairly easily. So the bottom of this bag is 36 centimeters, which already gives some space, I would say. So this is kind of where the MacBook ends, and you still have this much space left. So it definitely provides space for a wider laptop. And of course the top, because this folds flat, is even a bit wider than the bottom. Let's also toss some of the additional stuff in that we usually have in what fits videos. So we have a notebook and a full-size wallet, a pencil case, a full-size water bottle. It's kind of hard to tell. Let me also just add a sunglass case, but this still has quite a lot of space to go about. So definitely a tote you can use for work, for example. That is briefly what fits. Magnetic closure will still close as well. And I have to say, what I do like about this magnetic closure is that it doesn't really tie back together here all that evidently with some other totes, and I don't have a lot of these totes. This is a Christian Louboutin tote, and here you see that the clasp really pulls the back together much more than it would usually get together, if that makes sense. I feel with this tote, when it comes together, and it really comes together all the way, but it feels more natural. So usually if I carry this tote, I don't properly close it, but I'm finding that when I'm carrying it over the shoulder, the magnets will just kind of find each other and it will close up nonetheless. Be mindful though that even if you have it closed, this is still a very, very open tote. So usually if I take it into the city, I will use it, well, with, I wouldn't really call it a bag organizer, but it's like a big pouch that can hold my laptop and all of my other stuff, and that is something I can just zip shut, and that will make this bag a lot more secure. So if you're using this as a work bag in crowded areas, that's definitely something I could recommend adding to this bag. On to the pros and cons of this bag, or at least the pros and cons for me. I have to say I really do like this bag, and I get a lot of use out of this bag. I think because it doesn't really have a lot of hardware or anything on the outside, and it's just super, super low key, and you can make it as low key as you want. Like you can take this off, you can wear it with the Saint Laurent logo to your body, and it will really just be a very simple leather tote. It is relatively lightweight. It carries, for me at least, very comfortably with the amount of stuff that I put in there. So I'm finding that when I'm looking for a bag in the morning, this is one that I will easily reach for. Like, I try not to reach for it all the time because I have a lot of bags and I want to get use out of all of my bags. I would say that this is not one that I really think of picking. Like, it doesn't get me as excited as a number of my other bags do, but it is just so easy that this is one that I can basically use all of the time. So if I would really have to limit myself to having only a couple of bags, I think this would actually be a good contender just to keep in my collection, because I know that it's very versatile and that I will actually easily reach for it when my options are limited. As I already said, it's yeah, lightweight, it's comfortable. It is just a very easy grab and go style. There's really not that much to it. The magnetic closure works for me in some sort of way. As I already said, I don't really think about closing it up, but usually if I put it on my shoulder, it will kind of automatically close up. I know that the pouch is a nice feature for a lot of people to have, but to me, I think given how expensive this tote is, I think they really kind of dropped the ball on this pouch. I think it really could have been a lot nicer. If I can make a reference again to the Christian Louboutin, this is the pouch that they give you with the bag. As you can see, it is a lot larger. The detailing is just a lot nicer. They actually have a pretty nifty detail here to connect the strap, and the strap is attached to the pouch. So, okay, would perhaps have been nice if this was fully detachable, but at least you can clasp it back around and make it a wristlet. It has super nice detailing, and this Saint Laurent pouch just doesn't really have the same thing. I'm just thinking now about the Icar bag, I think it's called, from Saint Laurent, the massive totes they have with the Saint Laurent logo or the YSL logo on the front. I think there are people who are also saying like you pay for the bag, but then you also get the pouch, and it's unfortunate that over there the pouch also doesn't have the YSL logo, but you're paying a lot of money for this bag. So if the pouch is merely just to keep your things organized, well, honestly, I think for myself, I have better stuff or better pouches to keep my stuff organized, so this doesn't really do it for me. It's a nice detail, but also for bags like this, I feel this is a detail that should just be in there, and that should also be done just properly. This bag is super squishy, it's super floppy, and I know that some people really don't like that. For me, it's a pro and a con. So the pro is because it is so squishy, it really molds and folds to your body, and that also is what makes it comfortable to some degree. But if you're talking about cons, again, now that YSL or Saint Laurent is sort of stepping out of that phase where they were still part of promotions, for example, and you can still get some discounts on this bag. I think right now it's also had a price increase. If I understand correctly, right now this bag retails for 1,100 euros, at least in the Netherlands. I think that is really a lot of money for basically just a couple of slabs of leather stitched together. And yes, the craftsmanship on this bag is nice. It has no flaws, or all of the stitching is amazing, but I still feel like you're paying a lot for what you're getting, and then the fact that this is just so floppy, it doesn't really contribute to the sensation of luxury that you might want to have out of a tote. There's a number of other brands that do these types of totes, like this, the Valentino Rockstar tote. Mulberry also has a tote. These totes are, I suppose, in a similar price range, but these still do go on sale. So if you just want to have like a floppy tote, you can also opt for alternatives. And yes, the Valentino Rockstar tote, that will have like a line of rock studs along the top of the tote. So if that's not really your thing, try looking for something else. But so many brands do totes, either in a very floppy version or in a more sturdy version, like the Christian Louboutin tote that I showed you earlier in this video, and that I also recently did a review about. But I just think that in the realm of luxury totes, this one, for the price that it is right now, it is just pretty much not worth it anymore. But that is just my 2 cents on the topic, and it's kind of weird to say on the one hand, because I really do enjoy this tote, I get use out of this tote, but on the other hand, I also paid a lot less for this tote than what it retails for right now. So my recommendation, or if I had to replace this right now, full price, it would be a definite no for me. I like it, but it's just not worth it anymore. Sorry, dear Saint Laurent tote. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it and or found it useful. If you have any questions about this bag, feel free to drop them down below for me in the comments and I'll get back to you. Remember, for now, there's a styling, a situation, and a taste for everything, so don't judge, wear whatever the bag you like. Until next time, or as we would say in Dutch, doei!